Let's start. Beekeeping. In the insect world, the economically important honeybees exemplify colonial living, reciprocal communication. Colonial living, they are famous for living in colonies and reciprocal communication by dance, wriggling and the wriggling dance, waggle dance, likewise division of labor and the polymorphism, that caste differentiation, that they are famous for that. The honeybees, beekeeping, which we call apiculture. Culture of honeybees is said to be apiculture. Is the maintenance of the hives of honeybees for the production of honey and wax. Beekeeping is an age-old cottage industry that from the beginning we are seeing. So before we go into the beekeeping, let's talk about that species of beekeeping, that Apis mellifera, Apis dorsata, Apis florea, Apis indica, so many are there. Some of them we are talking about. The two species of honeybees widely used in beekeeping in India are Apis mellifera, which we call European bee, a favorite for apiculture, yields large quantities of quality honey. And Apis serrana indica, Apis serrana indica, it is a Indian Asian hive bee, that you can say Indian bee or Asian bee, hive bee. Why? That it is wild and also can be domesticated. Wild means in natural environment. Domesticated means generally we are going to grow these particular honeybees in apiculture in wooden boxes. We call them as apiaries. Apiaries. We say them as apiaries. We grow them in wooden boxes. So that's what the meaning of domesticated, that will grow in vine and also it is domesticated. Okay. So that before we continue the topic, that honeybee is a very, very important for in various aspects. That means in genetics point of view and in the culture point of view, that we need to go with the story of honeybee. A brief history of honeybee I'll go, then after we'll get into the topic. So I'm drawing sun here, sun. Okay, so during the process of the means I am going to start the story beginning with a female bee, a female bee who is flying towards the sun, a female fertile bee, we can say. A female, listen carefully, very interesting story. The female fertile bee who is moving in the direction of sun, not into the sun, just here they're just moving in the direction of sun, and which is chased by many male bees are going to chase them, many male bees are chasing. So among them one of the bee reaches, you see, so these are smaller than the female, that's why I'm trying to draw in that way. So many chase, which is the male. What do you call? The male bee is said to be drone. In general, the male bee is said to be drone. Okay, so this is the above one is female fertile bee. We can say female fertile bee, which is chasing that female fertile bee. One of them will reach towards that female, and the copulation will be completed over. So this kind of copulation is called nuptial flight, type of copulation here. Nuptial flight, we use it to say it as. Okay, the copulation is completed. That means that what is meant by copulation in case of this particular bee, that transfer of sperms, males transfer the sperms into the female. So all the diagrams I am drawing here are completely hypothetical, may not resemble the original, don't match with the original photographs. For our understanding, I'm taking that my own method of hypothetical diagrams I am drawing here. That mouth parts of honeybee, they are lapping and chewing. Okay, that we'll discuss. But the story, what happened? Nearly 90 millions of the sperms are transferred into the female after the completion of copulation, single time copulation. 90 millions of sperms are transferred into the female after nuptial flight. What is nuptial flight? That moment of female fertile bee in the direction of sun, which is followed by male, and among them one of them reaches and copulate with the female fertile bee, and that particular female fertile bee that will be that collecting the sperms from the male, 90 millions of the sperm. Okay, you just did you recognize this, that female fertile bee? What I'm using here. Okay, so 90 millions of the sperms are transferred. That is the one-time copulation. After that, that drone may die. That there is no information for the drone. That means they can't even collect the food materials actually. So then there are so many. Ovum is produced in the ovary. Ovum is produced in the ovary. So at this particular time, this particular fertile female bee will come and lodge on a twig. Okay, so that will lodge on a twig, then slowly the wing size is going to be reduced over. Okay, because after this there is no flight from here. Okay, I drawn a twig here. Please excuse me that I drawn a twig here. You just imagine it as a twig. Okay. So okay, otherwise we'll make it. We'll type here. This is twig. Now this female fertile bee will come and lodge on a twig. Okay. What next? These sperms are haploid. N equal to 16. These ovum are haploid. N equal to 16. Okay. N equal to 16. So when the sperm and ovum are fertilized, N plus N will result the formation of zygote, isn't it? Result the formation of zygote. When the sperm and ovum are fertilized, that result the formation of zygote. That means 2N equal to 32. Now the question raises, what is this? What is this? Male or female? How can we know that is male or female? But we'll come to know in case of honeybee. That 2N equal to 32. That means I am declaring it as female. This is female. That's all. We can declare this is female. Okay. Then this female, young the zygote, during the growth process, if it is how it is fed over, that means if you feed this particular female with normal bee bread, normal bee that bread, that means what I say that pollen, the different issues if you breed, that will become worker bee. That will become worker bee. Worker female bee. Okay. Worker, it's female as I said here. That let me show you with the symbol even. Fertilization occurs, that will be female. Okay. Worker female bee we use it to say. Then during this process, if you feed this with if you feed with royal jelly, let me type here some adjustment overlapping. So what we said, worker female bee. Oh God, sometimes it happens. So worker female bee, very important question. That's why making forcible is pending here. I think so. So worker female bee. By if you feed with normal, if you feed with royal jelly, that means a kind of the concentrated honey, that if you feed with them during embryonic development, they become queen. They become queen. And we say that as future queen. Technically, we say future queen, but generally they announce it become queen. Okay, so let me write in bracket or in small letters future. In future, it will become queen. Till the time, whatever who lodged on the twig, I didn't say that became queen. So to say queen, what is required at least? Queendom. If you start announcing, I am the king. Okay, you're the king. Where is your the kingdom? Where is at least one to three number of people are even required or not? So that's why I didn't use that word till the time that queen. I just started as fertile female bee. But as long as the young ones are going to be produced over, we can say this as queen. This as queen. Okay, so just listen till the end, that you'll understand. Then let's continue this. This is the ovum, isn't it? Shall we write here? This is ovum and this is sperm. Okay. So ovum, unfertilized eggs, we say that without fertilization. Okay. So what do you say? Without fertilization, without any fertilization, unfertilized eggs, development of unfertilized eggs into young one, we called a procedure called parthenogenesis, isn't it? That without fertilization in the parthenogenesis method, in the parthenogenesis method, what you say, if any young one is developed, that is called as male, or we say it as drone. So simply we can say with fertilization female, without fertilization male. That is a kind of, in case of human being, you might know that we say that if XX is there female, XY is there male. But here very simple calculation, with fertilization female. Okay, without fertilization, male. Or I can say 2n equal to 32, diploid number of chromosome. We declare female. Haploid number of chromosome because it came without fertilization, isn't it? So that male. If it is diploid, female. If it is haploid, male. If it is with fertilization, that female. Without fertilization, male. Parthenogenesis, male. N equal to 16, it may be sperm or ovum or male. That's what the speciality here. That means haploid chromosome. Okay, so that is a determination method here. Here I took a chance to explain the determination in honeybee also. Honeybee method we say this as no other animals will have this kind of special feature. Okay, so from the beginning, let's come to the story. As I said over, one of the female fertile bee will move in the direction of the sun, and many of the drones they're chasing them of other beehive. They are chasing this particular female, and one of them reaches to the female, and copulation will be completed. The procedure called nuptial flight. After that, that particular future queen, that means till the time I said it as fertile female bee who participated in the copulation, large in a twig with reduced wings. Slowly the wings will be reduced over. Okay, then the spermathecae of the abdomen contain sperms in the hope that ovum are present. Now they start production on the twig. That sperm and ovum fertilize female with diploid number of chromosomes. If you feed with normal bee bread, that become worker. And if you feed with royal jelly, that will become future queen. In what way? That will come out and will do this kind of copulation again, and they start lodging another twig. Day by day, these particular young ones are going to be produced over. Slowly, that worker bees start the construction of the beehive. You might have seen over in your surroundings that beehive size slowly increase day by day, isn't it? Why? Because that our that fertile female now became as queen, because queendom came. All the children of them itself they are belongs to their her kingdom. Okay, so 2000 eggs it lays per day. Some become that particular male, and some become female, and some will go in future time as a future queen. So in the beehive, we can classify these kind of beehive into two. Okay, one is storage chamber. So general basics I am giving here. We are not going to a technical way. So that bee chamber and that brooding chamber. You can see a bee storage chamber and brooding chamber. We can see two here in the beehive. In that particular, we'll find our queen chamber also. Now you can say queen because it started producing individuals continuously. So that this particular area, drones are there. That means developing drones, male, and developing workers can be seen over. Developing future queens will be seen over, and that means when they fed with royal jelly, they become fertile, and they move on in the air again. For what? For nuptial flight, and they also make their own queendom. Okay, so now I can say, I can term it as queen. Technically, I'm saying here that queen means queendom is required. Now, queendom is formed. That's why I'm saying queen. So these are about the drone and worker. So what do you know about the drone from this particular story? Drone is haploid. Drone is having 16 chromosomes, and a drone is developed in the drone brooding chamber. Okay, and that it participate in the nuptial flight in population, and it is formed in a process called parthenogenesis. And very interesting thing here, when it is start producing sperms, do remember people will confuse here that drone is fertile or sterile. People feel so. It is sterile. If it is sterile, how it participate in population? Should have logic here, isn't it? So when it come in examination, I've seen so many times people say sterile. It is not sterile. It is haploid. It is haploid only. It is not sterile. It is fertile. Only thing you have to remember over during this particular process, no meiosis required for the production of sperms, isn't it? The interesting thing here, no meiosis required because already that organism itself haploid in status. So why for the production of sperms, no meiosis required. That is the thing you have to remember. Now let's talk about the workers. They are what they are. They are 2n in condition. They are 2n, no doubt, diploid because they are formed by fertilization. Their 2n equal to 32, but they have taken normal food during the growth. That's why they became worker. The lifespan is very less, 2 to 4 months of lifespan, but they do everything. They are going to do everything. That means we categorize that age wise they start working. Just for information, I'm saying. Initially, they called nurse workers, which provide nourishment to the developing embryos. Okay, then after they call household workers. After 2 weeks, we call them as household worker. They clean the beehive, they construct the beehive that with the help of bee wax. They, if any wounds, that means cracks are there, that beehive, they close that particular with the wax. Likewise, then after they will be promoted to field workers. Means lifetime working itself. First they do nursing, that means providing nourishment to the developing eggs, and bringing 2000 eggs. Our queen, whatever laid, that they don't transfer. That workers will transfer to respected chambers. Okay, household worker, cleaning of the beehive, construction of the beehive, healing of the beehive. That household workers will do. Field workers, they go into the longer distance places. Do you remember that as a general knowledge, you may have seen over that 1 lakh flowers it has to visit to prepare a spoon full of honey. Okay, so they visit different kinds of nectar. One more interesting thing here. So which flowers they meet, that also makes the change in the taste of the honey, the quality of the honey. Which flowers they meet. That's why honey in different places, in different brands, different types of tastes. Where they grow, that is very important. Okay, whatever. That particular honey will be stored here. Honey is stored here. Storage chamber. Okay. Next, that queen, the future queens, we have to say, but most of the time textiles pronounce that as a queen, which are fed with royal jelly. That means these are fertile. These are fertile. A queen is fertile. Future going queen also. But the lifespan is about 5 years. These are fertile. And what is their role? You have seen that initially they participate in the copulation. Then after that nearly 5 years they live. They start laying eggs continuously. Okay. So that's why beehive size will grow on continuously. So that's it about the information about this. And a very interesting information before we get into the text here. Very interesting information. How honey is prepared. So that's a big question here. How honey prepared? All the people who are now in the class or listening to this should excuse me because I'm going to reveal a biggest secret. After this, you people will drink, will eat honey or not. I don't know. That's why I'm asking your excuses. How the honey is prepared. So after saying this, what kind of consequences are there in your mind while eating honey? All you are left to your choice that I am explaining with your excuses. Okay. The mouth parts of honeybee are called as lapping and chewing type of mouth parts. The honey mouth parts are said to be lapping and chewing. Okay, so lapping and chewing. Did you remember in case of mosquito, we said piercing and sucking, housefly, sponging and sucking. like butterfly siphoning. Likewise, here also they have lapping and chewing type of mouthparts. They have, our workers have pollen brushes and pollen baskets also in the abdomen. Pollen brush and pollen basket. Okay, sorry. In the leg region, the pollen brush, three pairs of legs, correct? That means it's an insect actually. So that's why, like our cockroach, three pairs of legs having pollen brushes and basket. They collect pollen grains, nectar, all the pollen grain and nectar they collect, and whatever they collected, they take inside. Okay. So for here, I have to remember that cockroach digestive system is similar to them. Why? Because so simple that they all belongs to insect, isn't it? You remember esophagus, crop, gizzard, ventriculus, ileum, colon, rectum, anus, that elementary canal of the cockroach, I am saying. In the similar way, all that nectar and pollen grains will come into the crab. Nectar, pollen grains, all that will come into the crab. Oh, here it is, here it is. All they come into the crab. Did you remember that in cockroach we said a regurgitation process? That means enzymes of the ventriculus will come back and will do the some digestion. In the crop cannot give release enzymes, but some digestion is going to be happen, isn't it? So because of that partial digestion, that nectar and pollen grains will be here itself synthesize honey. Okay. So where does the honey synthesize? In the crop. Now what I can say this as honey. This is honey. Okay, so what is honey? Honey means which is synthesized in the crop of worker bee. A worker bee prepared, collected, eaten pollen grains and nectar. Okay. Oh, then how does it will come out? That's the question, isn't it? Let us try. Let us try. Let us try. Crop, gizzard, ventriculus, ileum, colon, rectum, anus. Will it come? No, because it's a long distance. If it come like that, you may call it as fecal matter, isn't it? No, it is not coming in that way. Okay, it's not coming in that way. This is not the way. It's not a fecal matter, at least. Honey is not a fecal matter. Okay. Then how will it come then? How will it come? That's what I said over. I asked all your excuses while explaining this. Then it will come like, yeah, it will come. Through the mouth, it will come. So anything if it comes out after eating, if anything if it comes out through the mouth, what do you say it as? Yeah, very good answer. I think the answer already came into your mind. So I'm reading your mind. I'm saying that vomiting. We call it as vomiting. So what is honey? Vomiting of a worker bee. I'm not writing, just I'm writing only vomiting. Vomiting of a worker bee. At least it's not the fecal matter of the worker bee. Being a distance problem, actually, it preferred to come out from here like this. So how the honey is prepared? I just explained here for general knowledge sake. Then vomiting of a worker bee is called that honey. Okay. Now, let's go into the topic here. Let's get into the topic. Whatever we learned here, just formality here. Let's see how it is given in the textbook. From the story, whatever we learned, just we are making a formality here. That is how it is given in the text. Already said over. Apis cerana indica and Apis mellifera, Apis dorsata, Apis florea. Apis dorsata is the largest bee. Apis florea is the smallest bee. Here it is given two bees for us, Apis mellifera, which is very good for culture of honeybee, apiculture we say. Okay, then let's continue. A bee colony. A bee colony include a fertile female, drones, workers. Sterile females are called workers. Are the three castes in a beehive. Okay, a queen. It is the largest individual in the colony. About the queen, that we already learned, just formality here. We are making. It is the largest individual in the colony. It is fertile, diploid to n equal to 32. One per beehive, one queen, only one queen, and egg layer in the and lays the egg in the colony. 2000 eggs it lay per day. Lifespan is about 5 years, and her only function is laying eggs. Nothing they do. The queen bee during its nuptial flight, that receives the sperms from a drone and stores in spermatheca and lays two types of eggs, fertilized and unfertilized. To recall that particular diagram which we learned and explained earlier. So this is the story that this diagram, this bigger diagram explains everything to you. If you want, you can take the screenshot. This bigger diagram explains all the issues of the honeybee. Okay. Then let's go into the topic that the queen bee during its nuptial flight receives sperms from a drone and stores in spermatheca and lays two types of eggs, the fertilized and unfertilized. All fertilized eggs develop into females, and all the larvae are fed with royal jelly. That royal jelly, vitamin and nutrient rich secretion from the glands in the hypopharynx of the nurse workers, because the nurse workers only providing food for all for the first 3 days only. Afterward, royal jelly is fed only to the bee that is bound to develop into next queen. So initially for all female will get the royal jelly, but after that royal jelly will be continued only to the those who are going to be future queens. Whereas other larvae fed on normal bee bread with honey and pollen, they become worker, sterile females or drones. Okay, so this is the information about the queen. Let's talk about drone. That haploid fertile males. I repeat, fertile male. They are robust, large winged, small numbered, short lived, and are fed with bee bread by nurse worker. For everyone, nurse workers are only providing the food material. They are developed from the unfertilized ova by a process called erhenotoky or parthenogenesis. Do remember this unfertilized egg development, we say erhenotoky or parthenogenesis. They are worker bees. Let's talk about the worker bees. That more is to talk about worker bee because everything they are doing. They are multifaceted sterile female which develop from fertilized eggs. They even develop from fertilized eggs. Don't confuse. And perform diverse function. They live for 2 to 3 months. The lifespan is just 2 to 3 months. They are smallest in size among the three castes, the queen and drone. These are the smallest one. Worker bees secrete wax, build hexagonal cells of the honey comb, gather nectar from flowers, manufacture and store honey, gather pollen, make propolis, that propolis, bee glue, used to seal the cracks in the combs. The scout bees, worker bees, perform a waggle dance. As I said to you, nurse worker, household worker, and field worker. Field workers perform this kind of dance. A round dance and waggle dance. After returning that, they perform a waggle dance after returning to the hive to inform other bees about the source of nectar, in which direction it is, north side or south side, toward the sun or away from the sun. Likewise, with the dance performance, that means with the dance, they'll show you that they communicate each other. Waggle dance informs the other worker bees the direction with reference to the sun's position and distance of the availability of the food. Is discovered by Karl von Frisch, who got awarded Nobel Prize for this particular dance. I mean the decoding of the dance, round dance and waggle dance. Okay. They also got the hive for which purpose they possess a poisonous sting, an abdomen where that in this bee the poisonous sting is there. That's why the people get afraid of honeybees, isn't it? Poisonous sting. Okay, so they have chewing and lapping and chewing type of mouth parts. Now, do you know worker bees have pollen brushes on the tarsi of the legs and pollen baskets on the tibia of metathoracic legs? That's all the story of workers. Now, beehive. It is an enclosed structure in which honeybees live and raise their young. Domesticated honeybees live in a man-made beehive boxes we call apiaries. Okay, bee wax is produced from their abdominal glands. The wax is produced from their abdominal gland present to second to fifth abdominal segments. That bee wax abdominal glands are present. That going to secrete the wax. Bees use the storage cells to store food, honey and pollen, and brood cells to house the brood, egg, larvae, and pupae. So I just shown that basic diagram to you earlier. That I just shown the diagram. That with the queen chamber is there in the center, and the upper storage chamber and lower brooding chamber. In that, drone brooding chamber, worker brooding chamber, and future queen brooding chamber. Likewise, the beehive is constructed over. Okay, and that's all about this particular honey bee story. Economic importance is well known actually by the people. That let's make it. The bee products like honey, wax, propolis, and bee venom. Bee venom is used also. Is also going to be very much useful for the treatment of arthritis. Honey is a rich source of the fructose, water, glucose, minerals, and vitamins. See, fructose, water, glucose already digested, isn't it? Mostly digested. That partially digested food, which is there, vomited out from the worker bee, is called honey. That's a very rich source, easily digestible. Why people say honey is easily digestible? I think you came to understand. Okay. Beeswax is used as the preparation of cosmetics, polishes, various kinds of candles, various kinds and candles also, polishes of various kinds and candles. Propolis is used for the treatment of inflammation and superficial burnings. Propolis is used in the treatment of inflammation and superficial burns. You get a math the following from here. Bees venom, which is extracted from the sting of worker bee, used in the treatment of arthritis. The pollination, bees are the very good pollinator. Bees are the pollinators of our craft plants such as sunflower, brassica, apple, pear, likewise. Okay. So they are good pollinator, their venom for arthritis, their propolis for inflammation and superficial burns, their wax is used for cosmetics and polishes, candles. Their honey is used as a rich source of the fructose, water, glucose, and minerals and vitamins. So that's why the beekeeping is a much beneficial procedure. Okay, the report says that during this period, the honey usage is became maximum. The knowledge of nature and habits of honeybees, selection of suitable location. That what kind of requirements for the beekeeping we are talking about now? Knowledge of nature and habits of honeybees. You should know that particular. Okay, then section selection of the suitable location, planned apiary or bee act for keeping the beehive, raising a hive with the help of a queen and small group of worker bees. Okay, management of the beehive during different seasons should know, and handling and collection of the honey and bee wax. These are the requirements here for the culture of the honeybee. Finally, whatever that bee culture is much beneficial and honey is a very useful item. We can say here honey is a very useful item, and finally this diagram is going to give a productive question from all the sides, that either from genetic side or from the breeding side. These various questions are there on the screen. This page is very important. Okay, so this page is very important. That must, if a honeybee question comes, mostly will come from here. Okay, so be careful on this. That take a screenshot of this diagram, and that's all about apiculture, culture of honeybee.